Hi guys, we're back with Monogatari second season, Green, and I've lost my translation, so I need to pull them up again. But the first card is the Hitagi Brainstormer, I know that much.
Yep. So
Uh,
Hitagi Senjukahara, Words of Gratitude. Your other character in the front row center slot gets 500 power. That's both turns. Pay 1, rest 2, mill 4, brainstorm. For every hit, search for a oddity
Oddity,
character
yes, and add
and
it
add
to
it to your
hand.
hand. So it's a very common search brainstormer at
Yeah.
double our rarity this time.
Yeah, uh, we already have a 0/0 yellow Brainstormer that has the same Brainstorm function, but a different secondary effect. Its effect that it's a 3k if you have a Blood Trait character on the field, which is relatively worthless. So this card basically takes that card's place.
Cool. Good card. Like,
It's also good because it pseudo fixes for green because you don't really play much other green at level 0, depending on your build, I suppose. But red and yellow and to a lesser extent blue predominate at level 0, and you do want some green to help fix for cards like Kaiki. So this card is good for that respect.
it's a good card. It's not like anything special though. Just, just good.
It
It's a nice back row brainstorm. What
Yep.
else is there to say?
Unfortunately it taps Kaiki, it taps 2,
Mm.
so like it taps Kaiki, which is a
Uh,
bad thing.
so this
Yeah.
card has so much text it actually goes over my card image. So
Oh, does it now?
I am
Well,
not
Oh.
adjusting the image for this.
Okay, well, this is Tsubasa Hanakawa, girl stared at by the tiger.
What?
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, the last one was charmed by a cat, this one stared at by a tiger.
So it
So,
got upgraded.
yeah, she went from kitty
Yep.
cat to tiger. 3 10k. Unfortunately, it doesn't have experience, but I think with Kaiki at level 3, it's not
Unfortunately,
that
not
big a
having
deal.
experience is not an issue at this point.
Hopefully not. It gains 1k if you have two or more other oddity traits, so basically a free 11k. And when it's placed from hand to stage, check the top card of your deck. You may put it on top or bottom, which is usually kind of lackluster, but when the next effect comes in, we'll see why that's happening. When this is placed from hand to stage, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an oddity character, this gains the ability.
Wow.
This gains the ability to clock kick its battle opponent when it reverses it.
And
So
all SAO players just cried out. And,
So, first thing, when you play this card, make sure you announce which ability you're using first, lest you be accused of cheating. Because if you just flip the top card of your deck and say, "Oh, I'm going to announce the clock kick ability first," if it's an oddity character, and then you get a scry, well, that's a lot less fair than if you announce the ability first. Because you should probably scry first, just in case you whiff the clock kick. Because every SAO player will tell you, every SAO player that's played Yuki will tell you, whiffing that clock kick hurts a lot.
Suddenly, you paid 2 stock for 11k vanilla.
Oh no, it sometimes gives you back stock if I recall correctly.
the Yuki that is
The Yuki
not
one
common
can.
power.
Yeah,
But I'm
this one
talking
does.
about this one where you just played 2 stock for an 11k vanilla.
So hopefully you don't have a combination of climaxes and events up top.
Hopefully, you're not playing the 3-1 event so that it doesn't happen to you.
Hopefully your 3-1 events in your level zone.
I'm pretty sure you don't play events in this deck purely because of this card, even though there is a decent red event. Yeah,
But yeah, don't whiff.
hopefully not. It's a this card and the last card are both good. I don't think either deserves the meta rating because they're fairly widespread effects.
Yep, it's a pretty typical clock kick effect. Nothing. I don't think there's anything really of special note for this card. This is a
It is
very
a,
solid
it is
card.
a, it's a very good clock kick though. It's basically
Yeah.
conditionless. It's 11k base, and
It's free.
It's also
yeah,
costless, yeah.
and even if you whiff, then you still get to see what your next card is, which means you get to plan around that. So if it's a shot trigger, then you get to yeah. So
It's,
I don't see a bad thing about this card.
yep, good card.
Oh, it's really underpriced on Yute.
Oh
Or
yeah.
rather,
Buy it.
Uh,
it is priced really low in comparison to a different double R, which I'm not entirely sure is worth that. We've seen this exact phenomenon before in the Little Busters Refrain booster, whereby the clock kick was priced lower than the gate combo in week one, but that changed very rapidly. We'll see how that changes here. It's a very different set with a different dynamic, but I'm not entirely sure that's correct.
Alrighty. Moving forward.
Koyomi Araragi, Serious Face. It's a 002K. When this comes from hand to stage, mill the top 3 cards of your deck. When your opponent's climax card is placed in the climax zone, you may put this card to your stock.
I'm gonna go ahead and put playable for my rating. I like this card a lot, though.
I think it's playable, but again, it's got a lot of competition.
It's definitely got a lot of
Yeah.
competition. If you're using this primarily to, the way I see it, mess with your opponent's climax combos, I love this card. This card is very good at that. Otherwise, it's not doing anything. Like, at all. So,
Just one
probably not worth putting in your deck, but I'd be
This
the
card
kind of...
this card is not great to play at level 0 if you don't intend to level your opponent up.
You gotta basically, like, play this, slam a climax, and then hope your opponent swings back with a climax.
Oh, I wouldn't slam a climax. I just play this and maybe 1 or 2 other characters and pray they level up, and then that'll slow their climax stuff for a turn or reduce the number of targets they have. Which I
Ultimately,
think is relevant.
ultimately
Like,
though, I think this card just doesn't do enough, I guess is the way I put it. And
Doesn't really, yeah, milling 3 is nice, but it doesn't really do anything, to be honest.
I don't know.
Especially if you don't run bonds, and yeah,
Not much else to say about
the
it.
ability is really nice, but I think I liked it better when it was on the Miku bomb, because the bomb did more than the mill 3.
Yep. Well, moving forward.
Hitagi Senjo Gahara. These guys aren't even using the official romanized version of her name with the Y. Tisk Tisk. So this card is a 104K. It is a global 500 support. And unlike the Hachikuji in yellow, it has a climax combo. So when Making Good Friends is placed in your climax zone, reveal the top card of your library. Making Good Friends, I believe, is a bar climax.
Yes, there are 2 different bars.
Yes. So reveal the top card of your deck. If it is an oddity trait character, it goes to stock, and you choose a character. That character gains a massive 500 power for the turn.
I don't know if I want to give this card niche or bad yet.
It's not bad
it's
insofar as it's niche. Like, it's still a global 500, and the climax combo isn't unviable. It's just a little...
Bad.
I wouldn't call it bad. I just think it's...
It's nice that it's a gold
Underwhelming.
bar.
Yeah, it doesn't do a lot, that's all.
I feel like I'd almost just rather run Stoxel.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point to make. This is a global support, and it is the climax combo itself does get you through your deck a bit faster, and gives you a bit of extra stock without needing the burden of playing a climax that doesn't give power.
The saddest part about this combo for me is if for somehow you got 2 of these into your back row, if you whiff once, you automatically miss the second one.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
And that is awful. If it was
It's-
like reveal top card, if it's a strange character, stock it. Otherwise, put it into the like bottom of your waiting room. Holy
Well,
Jesus!
there are ways to get around
Or
this.
bottom of your deck. I don't know.
There is a 0/0 that scries a bunch of times. There's a 0/0 assist that lets you scry when you play a character. There are ways to make this go off. I just don't know if it's worth it. So I'm going to give this card a niche rating.
Same thing.
Cool. And magic number 30. Moving on.
Suruga Kanbo, complete defeat. This
She looks
is a
very
one.
sad.
She is probably completely defeated. She is a 1055. She gains an extra 1500 power if doing it with no regrets. Suruga Kanbo is in the level zone. This is a level 3. And it has the ability, when this becomes reversed in battle, you, as in the controller of Kanbo, cannot use Encore for the turn, including the game
What's that?
mechanic 3 cost Encore. So it's a 107k.
Yeah, good card. Well, playable card. It doesn't do any more than being a 107k.
And you
think
need a
this is-
level 3 as well.
I think this is actually the worst 107k Kanbo in this set, even though it's the one with the higher rarity.
It's still playable for me. Being a 7k beater for free is pretty sweet.
It's not for free, though.
Oh, it's not for free. It took deck building space.
Yeah, that's the problem, and the level 3 is kind of very mediocre.
But it's still playable for me.
I just don't think the level 3 does enough in today's day and age to make this card anything more than niche for me.
Sure.
It just yeah, 107k is nice, but I think that it's got two demerits. The first demerit is that you're running that Kambaro level 3. The second demerit is the one that's written on the card, which is probably not relevant because I don't remember a particularly good Clock Encore engine that's costless in this set.
No, I don't think so.
There just isn't one, or else I would be using it. Yeah, no, it's a niche card for me.
Alrighty. Moving forward to the aforementioned level, not that. That's
Oh boy, this card. So this is Tsubasa Hanakawa, white and transparent. It's a 228k. If you've got experience 5,
whoops.
then
I
it becomes.
skipped the translation. Wait, did
Oh,
I?
okay. It's a
Did you?
2-2 Hanakawa. No,
I did
that's
skip the
correct one.
translation.
Oh,
Oh, you skipped the translation. Yeah.
It had
So
like
this,
the same experience thing, so I just assumed it was like the same card.
yeah, no, this has it's a 9-5 if you have experience 5, which isn't too hard if you're playing a level 2 here. When something I wished for, which is another bar climax, sadly, if it was a stock soul, it probably would be better, is placed in the climax zone. If this is in the front row, you may choose 2 strange characters in your waiting room and put them in your stock in any order.
So I give the card a playable rating because I actually like 2/2s more than 2/1s. Being 9/5 is pretty whatever, and it's on attack, right? No,
no,
it's on
it's
climax
climax
placement.
placement.
Alright, that's also fine. So, like, if you do somehow manage to put yourself in a position where you're still at level 2 and you haven't refreshed yet, this card suddenly becomes very amusing, where you get 3 stock additional put into your stock zone, I guess, because you have to pay 6 out to do it all. But so you net 1 on each play, or 2
Yes.
technically, because you also
Import-
attacked with it.
Importantly, you managed to get all this stock clean.
Yeah. So
Unless
especially
you
if you
trip
had
out climax.
especially if you had climaxes already in your stock, kind of buried deep, this could be a very good way to get them all out and replace them with known information functionally.
This card is niche for me because it doesn't fit into the quote-unquote meta deck because it's using stock that probably should go towards either a change or a finisher. Yes, it gets the stock back, but I don't think you want to run bars when you can instead just run the gates and the Shinobu climax combo. As generic as that is, I think that is actually the best way to build it. This card definitely there is a ridiculous stock charge deck doable with Monogatari now, and this card goes into it. I just like this is also good in the Hanekawa quote unquote waifu deck, because this will be your secondary climax combo after the probably stock soul one from Nisimono. So
Yeah.
there's that.
I gave the card a playable rating.
I don't think I'd ever play this in a quote unquote meta deck, but
I think it's niche as well.
it's definitely usable, without a doubt. 2295 is fine, I guess.
It's not spectacular, but
It also has experience, which means you can buff it with the bomb, which
getting
is
to
relevant.
11/5 is relevant.
And if you're playing with bars, then you can also play the 1-0 Karen. And this card has experience, so you can actually search it out with Karen, which is pretty relevant.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Moving forward, the level
Uh,
3.
Doing it with no regrets, Suruga Kanbaru, so I'll get to why I don't like this level 3. It's a 3-2 10k by base. If you have 2 or fewer climax cards in your waiting room, this gets -1 level in hand. That's a very good advanced summon requirement, especially in a deck with Nakatsuki clone. But its only other ability, when this is placed from hand to stage, it gains 4,500 power and negating backups from hand. So character backups can't be played by either you or your opponent when this card is involved in battle.
Until the end of opponent's turn.
Yes. And after that, it goes back to being a 10k vanilla.
So
I am thoroughly unenthused by this card.
it's pretty mediocre, honestly. I would only ever run this if I felt like, and I wouldn't because the other 107k that will show up later I think is better. But if for some reason I only had the 107k that required this in level zone. In a sense, it's like almost a throwback to the old Monogatari deck where you had this character just in your deck to experience on.
Well, no, the old combo
Except
was
it
actually
heals.
arguably the better heal, unless you get triple red Hitagi. But I think this card is basically for the Kambaru quote-unquote waifu deck, which I will probably throw it in. I'll probably have enough cards since I don't run the old heal anymore. This will enable you to run a full level 1 line of 107Ks, which is kind of scary sounding, to be quite honest. But
And then you
as
play
a
against that one deck with the 1/1 costless killers, and you just get really sad.
hopefully not. As a meta deck inclusion, I don't think this is worth it because, like I said, it's a 10k vanilla after your opponent's turn. But more importantly, the 4/5 power and anti-backup ability sounds relevant against things like Sire. But one, if your opponent played Sire during level 2, you should have the stock bomb. And two, girlfriend beta in particular, usually, like, if a good girlfriend beta player probably wouldn't stack their 4k onto their Sire against Monogatari if they play it at all. So this card is either ineffectual or fighting up against a probably 15k plus Sire because they'll always have a support of some sort to make it bigger. And might not even be able to do what was intended to do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give the card a niche rating, just
It is.
because
It's niche.
Yeah,
It is niche,
The only
yeah.
reason why I'd ever put it is because I want it for other deck building reasons.
It's not god awful. It's just not great.
I feel like they're just better cards
Correct. I agree.
that do what you need it to do.
Sure.
Alrighty, moving forward.
Hitagi Senjo Gahara, waking up early. When this attacks, it's a 002k. When this attacks, choose another oddity trait. No, choose one of your oddity trait characters, including this one, and that character gains plus 1k and plus 1 level.
That is a beater, I guess.
This is yet another incidental power giver. I don't know if the deck needs it, but it is green, which is nice, and it does pump anything as opposed to only pumping experience. So I could see this going to some budget decks or like Hitagi waifu decks.
I give the card a playable rating. I mean, this is a beater
It's-
sometimes.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm a little over the whole 0/0 that gives power on play thing because everyone was overhyped about Pucci Mikon, but this card is fine.
Oh
This
my
card
god,
is-
that card is like $50 now.
Wait,
Is it
what?
actually? Did it
No
go up?
way.
It's
Did
like,
it actually go up?
it's like
What?
$49.80 on YouTube.
That's not possible.
Are you kidding?
I'm not
Oh my
even
God.
joking.
I should
Oh,
sell
man.
mine. Holy shit.
My investment, yeah, I reckon I'll sell mine.
It
I'll s-
blows
I'll
my
sell my-
mind. Honestly, like at this point, I'd just be so amused if that card actually just gets
No,
reprinted.
no, no. It's only 3,980.
Oh
They're
man,
trying-
that's
but it's
still
sold out.
absurd.
Still sold out. Hey,
That's
that's pretty ridiculous.
That's
Yeah, no.
still
This-
absurd.
This card is playable. Don't think it's I don't think it's any better or any worse than that.
Moving forward.
Tsubasa Hanakawa, Tiger Striped Hair. It's a 00500 with a clock bond to a 2/1 Hitagi Senjo Gahara. It also gives those Hitagi Senjo Gaharas 1000 power.
So it's
So-
apples with a 2/1.
It's apples for a 2/1. That 2/1 has the ability to come into play early. It's a 2/1 8k that
What's it-
comes into play early if you have 2 red and 2 green characters.
That condition's actually problematic.
Not really.
No.
It
It's
can't
not that bad. It's not bad at all.
We
That's
usually
it.
have two. Well,
That's it. Like, I like it.
I mean, the issue is you can't play it in a deck that runs a yellow level 1, obviously.
Yes.
yeah.
So you play it in a different deck, which means I have to give this a... I think this card is good enough to get a playable rating because it might just be the case that yellow level 1 is not the greatest and you might just want a red and green wall-based level 1. I don't
What
know
does
if
that
that's
sound
act-
like?
I don't know if that's actually the case, but in that case, this card would be very playable.
Sounds just like Terraformers. you
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
Might need a red-green level 1 game.
Now, Terraformers has a bigger, fatty level 1 game because this one only gets 1 level 2 down usually, unless you want to lose value.
Well, I mean, I'm just making a comment to like, and the yellow level 1 game might not be the greatest, and you might be better off playing red-green fatties at level 1. It's like,
Yeah. Except
yeah,
I think
that sounds very familiar.
I feel like the yellow level 1 game is good enough in this deck, so we'll see.
We'll see.
We have to review the we'll go to the next card. Suruga Kanbaru, being herself. When this attacks, put the top 2 cards of your library into your waiting room. If there are any climax cards among them, this card gets neg 3,000 power. Oh, hello, Yui. Nice to see you again.
So,
I'm referring to a Yui card from Angel Beats. It's a 3/5. When it attacks, mill one card. If that card's a climax, it loses 3,000 power and becomes a 500 power beater.
well, this is definitely a questionable card regardless.
The fact that you mill a card is actually kind of nice, but if you ever attack into something expecting to kill them, you might just be in for a bad time.
Yeah.
I want to give this card a niche rating. Because I think the fact that it mills, combined with the fact that power is less relevant after level 0. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'll give it a playable rating.
I'm giving it a playable rating. Honestly,
My-
if I lose a level 0 here and there, I don't really mind. It's not like it's the one that just straight up kills herself instantly anyways, so like
Oh man.
the fact
Yeah,
is I'm
that's-
still getting that attack in, and
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
doesn't really matter to me if she ends up dying consequently. I mean, I will get upset if I like mill 2 climaxes because of this, but that was 2 climaxes I was going to trigger anyway, so I was probably going to lose.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
this card's perfectly fine.
I can't see this card not being playable. I don't know if you necessarily want to max on it though.
Right. So the next card is Suruga Combo, A Question of Time. So it's a 1/04K. Heart of the cards has it incorrectly written as if there are 5 or more cards in your stock, it gains 1,000 power.
Fix the translation
In
on the
reality,
sheet.
it gains 3,000 power. So it is a 1/07K.
I think this card is great, honestly.
It's fantastic.
This is a very good card, yeah.
Only five stock is. I say only 5, but there are similar cards that get to these absurd levels of oversized that need 6 or 7 stock.
Okay, just like as a note, it does not even matter. If you had 4 stock going into the turn with this card, you will trigger it on the first attack. If you have 2 stock going into this, you'll at least trigger it on the last attack. And if you had 2 stock going into these plays, that meant you literally had 0 turns at like level 0 or something happened.
This card is great, and
This card is actually going to get a good rating from me. It's like
yeah.
probably
If-
the best costless
Oh, yeah.
meter in the set. 1/07K is insane.
If green becomes very playable at level 1, this will be a go-to card. If not, then it'll stay basically unplayed, which is unfortunate because this card is very good. It's actually good enough to be a good card for me.
It
It's
is
insane.
absolutely getting the good card. A 1/07K beater is just
And it's an uncommon.
ridiculous.
No demerits, unlike the other one.
The demerit is that it's a 4K body, but it's like, whatever. It's 7K. Oh my goodness.
So next card. This is Karen Araragi, her only card in the set. It's a 1/1 support. It gives 1,000 power to all other Karen and or Tsukihi characters. Oh, so it obviously goes into Fire Sisters deck and not much else. When you pay for the change cost of a character, you may put a marker from under this into the waiting room in place of 1 stock, and tap this to put a Karen or Tsukihi character from your waiting room under this as a marker.
So how much changing happens in that Fire Sisters deck?
You have a very good change.
You
to
have-
Field Swapper, a level 2.
Unfortunately, you only have 1 change. There is no
Yeah.
other cost involved change in the Karen Tsukihi deck, and playing this in a different deck means you're wasting a lot of potential because you're paying 1 stock to get
global
1
1,000.
virtual stock.
Yeah.
So if you don't get a benefit from the global 1,000, you're just taking up back row for no purpose.
Yeah. So what does that change do?
The change is a 2/1 change, 2 cost at Encore phase. So if you have 2 of these, then that means you can pay nothing.
Pay it forward.
Yeah, you pay it forward, basically. It changes into a 3/2 that is an 11K with a certain number of oddity traits on the field. And it has the ability to pay 1 field swap with any character and give itself some power until the end of the turn.
Alright. I'm just going to
so-
go ahead and set this to niche for everyone.
It's
Yeah.
obviously niche, yeah. So it's a home wrecker card. It's pretty solid.
Alrighty. Moving forward.
Devil Summer, Roku Nimachi.
Oh man.
1/1/65. For each marker under this, it gains 1 level and 1/5 power. When the battle opponent of this is reversed, you may choose a part of Devil in your waiting room and put it under this as a marker.
So
That's an event, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The 1135 counter.
Yes.
Alrighty. Can I just? I think I'm gonna just call this card bad.
The
I
combos though. Use the backup and
I'm,
then
I'm gonna go ahead and call this card bad.
I don't like this card because it makes you run a whole bunch of the 1135 counter. So the only deck that this would ever go into is the Kanbaru quote unquote waifu deck. And even then, this card doesn't really have a great amount of potential unless you also use the Roka support, which I think is a fine card, but eh.
I'm gonna go ahead and call this card bad. I just
The problem with like running this like in a combo deck is you're running a 107k anyways, so it's like
Yeah, well, this will be an 8K, hopefully.
well, not necessarily the turn you play it, and you paid 1/1 for an 8K.
I mean, I'm gonna try. It's a 1/1 level 2 8K.
Wonderful.
So I'm gonna try this card
This
and
is how
see
you
it
get
goes.
Adachi'd.
Mm.
This is exactly how you get Adachi'd.
I'm still going to try playing this card because I think it has some potential, but it is very niche.
By the way, do you know how much I love like the fact that Adachi's effect is getting printed all over the place now?
Dachi.
Adachi skipping out on work.
Um, I guess you'd like it, yeah.
I
It's
freaking
a good
love it.
card.
That card was like, I always thought it was so amusing that this card existed in Persona, and now every set is getting it, and I'm like, I couldn't be happier about this particular effect.
Yeah, card is super solid, not gonna lie.
Anyways,
Alright.
this card is how you get Adachi'd.
I guess, but it's still a decent enough card.
I'm gonna move on. I gave the card a bad rating. I don't know what you all gave it. I just put bad under Lychee's name as well.
it's a bad card.
I still think it's niche.
Oh,
Deishukaki,
okay.
the
I'm
last
sorry.
report.
I misspoke for you then.
I mean, it's not great, but I don't think it's actually bad. Deishukaki, the last report. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may swap the top card of your opponent's stock with a card in their waiting room.
Ah, peace on.
Swap in a climax. When this card is placed from hand to stage, choose a character. That character gains 1,000 power for the turn.
Incidental power gain.
Yeah. This card doesn't really do enough for me to play it. Like the Sugumi version was support. I don't know why
Producer-san.
you played producer. I don't actually know why you played producer. Like
I actually don't know why you play producer either.
The Charlotte version was a Ricky. Like there are reasons you play those cards. This card, I don't think you play because it doesn't do enough.
I agree, for the most
It's
part.
the Kaiki waifu deck, so niche.
do we have enough cards for Kaiki Waifu?
No,
Is this supposed
I
to be
don't think
Kaiki?
so, right? Yeah.
that's
Oh, it is
though.
Kaiki.
This is Kaiki, dude.
This is Kaiki.
Of course, it's
Yeah.
Kaiki.
Huh.
Yeah.
Suruga Kambaru, 1/1 This is a 0015 common. All of your other strange characters gain 500 power. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may choose a card in your level zone and a level 3 Kanbaru from your waiting room and swap them.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Mushi, even
Yeah,
though I think the
this
card is
is-
actually bad.
This card is custom made for the Kanbaru waifu deck, which runs nothing but 107Ks, maybe that Roka, and wants the level
This is
3
niche,
in the level
yeah.
zone, so it is niche.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Moving on.
Yeah,
1/1
next card
2K
is
counter.
Kambaru about her mother. Yeah, it's a 1/1 2K counter. This is, I think, worse than any 1/0 counter in the Kambaru deck because you want to have five or more stock, and oftentimes you'll have exactly 5 stock and don't want to pay it out because at that point you're actually losing power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say the card is bad.
Niche.
I don't like 1/1 vanilla counters.
Well, to be fair, this card, there is already a 1/1 vanilla counter that's a green one. It's a green Hitagi counter that also has a change effect. So you could say that this card is just objectively worse than that one.
I'm gonna say this card is even objectively worse than just like 1/0 vanilla counters.
Well, this one has a sports trait, so you can use that, I guess. You can
I mean,
pump
if you
some-
really need it in your standard Chie deck.
Well, no, there are sports supports for Karen. Moving on.
I don't know what to say.
Roka Numachi. So this is the other card, which makes the first card we talked about somewhat playable. It's a 2/1 5K, gives all of your other strange characters 1K power. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may choose a 1/1 Roker and a 1/1 counter in your waiting room, and put the latter underneath the former. So if you have the 1/1 on field, you get to automatically put another event under it, which is alright.
Fine.
So now you have a
And
level
then-
3 9K, right?
And then you can tap it to give a character with a marker a counter.
This is
Oh.
like more niche than the other one because like this one you can use with the 3/2 Shinobo.
I was about to say that's achievement unlocked, man, because those two decks do not seem like they would ever go together.
I'm just glad we can just go full circle of all of our stupidity.
Do you know what else you can power up? The 1/1 Karen support we talked about.
Yes, you're gonna attack with that card. It's beautiful. You know what the best part about that actually is? Because it's an encore step change, you can absolutely do that, where you attack with it and it dies anyways, but you still use the markers to do the change before you send it to waiting. It's perfect. This
I'm
is
pretty
perfect.
sure I keep the 1/1s because I want to use them as support for the field swapper I'm presumably swapping into, but
You don't understand.
let's move on, please.
Perfect synergy here. Besides,
Let's move on.
this card also gives 1,000 power. It's the exact same.
You're right. It is perfect synergy. Bad cards with bad cards. This card is niche because I can see it being played in a combo deck.
I just want to do dumb things.
So 2/1 Hitagi Senjagara being jumpy. 2/1 7K. For each of your other strange characters against 500 power, when this is placed from hand to stage, check the top card of your deck. If it's a level 0 or lower character, stock it. So a very similar card is in Persona, and that card is pretty much unplayable.
This card is also unplayable.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
You definitely don't
It's
want to
bad.
pay stock and then somehow end up with that stock.
I mean, 209k is a really good rate, but
209k is also
not really in a great position right now.
like, what's it gonna kill? Your opponent's level 1 game that they don't really care about anymore? Cool. Your opponent's early plays? Nope.
Alright, next card. Suruga Kanbaru. Oh no. It's
Ayo, 217k, we're off to a good start.
When this attacks or is front attacked, mill the top card of your deck. If it's an oddity character, it gains 2/5 power. When this attacks, if separate from you,
Oh shit.
Oh dear
Yeah.
god.
which
Oh,
is the stock side,
no.
is in the climax room, discard your hand and draw the same number of cards.
So you Wheel
Oh.
of Fortune.
No, because Wheel of Fortune draws you 7.
Okay, you Chandra
No,
Flame
that's-
Unleashed.
No, that gives
No, that's
you
draw
an
3.
extra card. No, that's it's Flame Caller, and you discard your hand and draw that +1.
No, I could have sworn there was one that discards your hand, you only draw 3. But everyone discards their hand, then draws 3. Regardless, this card is awful.
This card is terrible because presumably, Weiss is a resource management game. Presumably, your hand is not terrible, so getting rid of not terrible cards for question marks is pretty bad. This
Unless
is a
your hand is like
bad-
all climaxes because you suck.
Great.
Sure, that's the one case where it's good. This is a bad card in my books.
There's like, I
No
would never
arguments
want to use this.
There. So you can look at the face of your opponent as you just do this effect.
This is like man, my opponent's like level 4 already. YOLO.
This is
I've
a.
already won the game.
I've moved on.
I've also now moving on.
2/1 combo, fitting hairstyles, a 2/1 7k.
Off
If you
to a good
have
start.
the level 3 combo in your level zone, it's actually a 2/1 9/5.
Off to a better
And-
start.
When this is placed from hand to stage, if you have 4 more other oddity traits, you may stock a oddity character from your waiting room.
Off to a waifu start. Niche.
Hey.
Yeah, it's a perfectly playable card in the combo deck. This is probably your best level 2 play. Definitely better than the level 2 we just talked about.
Oh my god.
And definitely better than the level 2 from the first set as well. So yeah, you can go with this.
Alrighty.
Next card. Oh boy, it's Kaiki again. Kaiki Deshu serving meat.
How many years pass between these
He's-
episodes?
it's a fake.
It's a fake. Yeah. Ha!
Okay, so
Uh,
sure.
okay.
I don't know. I don't watch this show.
You
This card is,
should.
this card is bad.
This card's
It's
bad.
it's a 2/2/9/5. When this is front attack, to check the top card of your deck. If it's a climax card,
Sack
put this
this.
in the waiting room.
Garbage.
Yeah, it's bad. Next card, Hearts
Uh,
of Devil. It's a 1/1/3/5 counter. Playable in the Kanbaru deck because you've got 1/07Ks and because you might play that Roka Nimachi stuff. Otherwise, I don't think this card goes into any deck at all.
everything was happening too fast and they didn't get to update the image fast enough.
You'll live. It's just a picture of a box.
With a hand in it,
Yes.
and it's on fire.
It's a monkey's hand, and that's Soulfire.
Soulfire.
Yeah.
Soulfire.
Did someone get 3 wishes?
No, but Ugin was involved.
Ugin.
Yes.
Oh man. Everything is
Kaki's-
colored in this game though.
Didn't she
Kaki's
get
basi-
Didn't she get
Kaki-
wishes?
I think she did, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Kaiki's basically Ugin.
Kaiki's
we-
basically Ugin, but Kaiki's green.
Nah, he's Ugin. Let's go on to red in the next video.
Yep, we're good. Alright, we'll be right back.